right, today I am doing a library tour. Oh, you can hear Pippin as he makes his way. I think he wants to be on camera. Let's go down. Hi, buddy. He likes to hang out in front of the front door. He likes wherever it's coolest in the house, so he likes to hang out in front of the front door. But these are the beautiful pocket doors that are in front, or that, I guess, lead you into the library, and we painted them green. They were white doors, but we painted them green to match the walls, which I thought was really nice. And we actually painted the opposite side the color of the library. So I will walk over and kind of show you around the room. So these just fold back to open up. Pippin is greeting someone. Don't know who. And then we'll just do a little kind of panoramic sweep. Around the library. So these are the 3 new bookshelves. And this house does have high ceilings, so it has 9-foot ceilings, so it looks like there's quite a gap between the bookshelves and the ceiling, which is fine because in the future, when the bookshelves are built in, that just means space for more books. All right, so we'll start over in this corner. This is who Pippin was greeting. Hi, Gigi.
Hi.
So Juliet is reading in the big chair that we have in the corner, which is probably the most comfortable chair that I have ever been in. And up above, we have, I'm above your head now, sweetie. We have 2 vintage reading posters from Library Week that I ordered from Etsy. So one of them has an owl and one of them has a raccoon. I'm not really sure what people, like how much people want to know, but I will say that when I was decorating, I had no clue what to do or anything about buying these kinds of things. So I can definitely link all the stuff and where I bought it if that is helpful, but it's kind of hard to see with the lighting. But I do have some brown velvet curtains because I thought it gave it like a dramatic kind of library look. It's just that, you know, with it pointing directly out of the window, it's kind of hard to see. Then I just have a little, oh yeah, we've got the book candle Gigi wants to show. So the book candle was a housewarming gift from our realtor, actually. She saw all the books that came in here and gave us one of these book candles for the library. I have the books that I'm currently reading on this little tiny table that just came from Winners. And then we can get around to the actual books. Okay. So along this wall, we have the 4 bookshelves that were in our old house that I used to record in front of. And it's kind of hard for me to get them all in the same frame, but here we go. Juliet's hand makes another appearance. But here they are. I do not organize my books by alphabetically, by author, by anything. They're kind of grouped by preference, kind of by genre, and kind of by what I think looks good. All right, we're gonna go through the shelves. Pippin is sad because we didn't let him inside, but he's gonna click and clack, so I gotta keep him out there for now. So just gonna run through these quickly. So at the top shelf here, we've got, first of all, a tiny You Met Me Out from Windbreaker because I don't have any volumes of Windbreaker yet, so there's nowhere else for him to go. But on the very top shelf, we have mostly Arthurian retellings, but then we also have the Shannara books up there. On the next shelf down, we have fantasy standalones and a really cute little figure that my mom bought me a couple years ago of a girl reading a book. Then if we go one shelf down, we've got a collection of some manga. So we've got Kaiju number 8, Death Note, those are Andrew's. We've got Vinland Saga, a couple volumes of Bleach that Andrew had collected and then stopped, and then my random assortment of Blue Lock volumes. Then if we go another shelf down, we've got the Dragonlance Chronicles, we've got the Sword of Truth books, and a Guy Gabriel Kay collection, Wistful Ascending Book 1, Swan Song, and I think that's the Canterbury Tales, right, tucked right into the corner. Here on the lowest shelf is just a collection of series that either I haven't read. I don't have a lot of unread books on the shelf. I think this is the only shelf actually that has unread books. So there's a couple of things I haven't read, or series where I don't own all the books, and so I don't have them on display because I don't have the full series yet. All right, so we're one shelf over, and now we start getting into the weird way that I organize my books, which is what I put my favorite ones on the top. So when you walk in and you're at eye level, you see all of my favorite books on the top. So as we go across, you'll see my favorites. You'll also see my poor shelves are starting to wear down. They've seen better days, but it's okay. They're still sturdy. So on the top here, we've got a collection of some of my favorite books. We've got my little Death of Rats figurine, and obviously his book, Soul Music, which, I mean, he appears in more books than that, but he's got a big role in Soul Music. So that's my Death of Rats next to his book. I've got a couple Robin Hobbs tucked behind in there because I needed somewhere for them to go. And I have my illustrated versions on display on a different top shelf. Then if we zoom down, we get down to some of my favorite manga series. So we've got Banana Fish in there, and all of these I haven't finished collecting because manga is expensive and it's hard to get it all at one time. So usually people give them to me for presents. But I have Banana Fish, which is one of my favorite anime, Yona of the Dawn, which I love, Demon Slayer, which I now have most of the volumes, and all my little Demon Slayer figurines. We've got a few volumes of Haikyuu. So when I finished watching Haikyuu season 4, this is where that picks up. So with volume 33, that takes place after the Inarizaki match, or maybe the end of the Inarizaki match is in that one, I don't remember. But I am a huge sports anime fan, and Haikyuu is my favorite sports anime of all time, and there are a lot of strong contenders, so I really love Haikyuu. And then we've got volumes 1 through 6 of Solo Leveling in there, so I have to continue collecting those as well. So if we go down another, we have some more of my favorite manga. So we have Tokyo Ghoul, which is one of my favorite complete series. The first couple are missing because one of my kids' friends borrowed them. And then we have Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon is just an institution. I love Sailor Moon. So we've got volumes. I don't think I have them all actually, so I need to continue getting those. We have 2 of my little figurines, which I think were doubles of figurines that my sister was collecting, so she gave me the ones that she had doubles of. And then this really beautiful fan that I picked up from the Japan pavilion at Disney World when I was there. We drop down, you will see 20th Century Boys and Monster, which are also 2 of my favorite complete manga series, and then the Apothecary Diaries light novels. I love the Apothecary Diaries as well. It is one of my favorite modern anime, and I can't wait for it to come back. So that is here on that shelf. And then all the way at the bottom, which are only on the bottom because they are so heavy, and I don't think I could put them on any other shelf, is Berserk. They deserve a top billing spot, but they are so heavy that until I get built-in shelves that are able to sustain all that weight, I don't feel super comfortable putting them up because I feel like they will make the shelves bow. But I do really want to get stronger shelves because I want to put them up, and there are some really gorgeous Guts figurines, so I would love to get one of those to be able to put up with them. All right, Pippin was crying too much and I felt too sad, so he had to come in. So you're going to hear him clicky-clacking as he goes over to try to beg candy from Juliet. He won't get any, but he'll still beg. So here's the next top shelf with more of my favorites. So we have the Dark Tower series, we have Farseer trilogy, we have the Locked Tomb series, Watership Down, The Hero and the Crown, and The Blue Sword by Robin McKinley, which are my 2 favorite young adult fantasy novels, The Night Circus, and then the folio edition of His Dark Materials, which was a gift from my husband a couple years ago, and I love them so much. I need to reread them so that I can read those beautiful editions. Then if we go down, we have a collection of Danmei, which is Chinese, basically Chinese romantasy is how you can think of it. So they're Chinese, they're fantasy novels, they are romantic in nature, and they follow their own sets of tropes. The ones on the end are by MXTX, and they're probably the most popular, I would think. Those are the ones that kind of got translated and published in mainstream North American publishers, with mainstream North American publishers first. And then I also have the Thousand Autumns series, which is a little bit more political, a little less fantasy action oriented, I would say. And then I have just a little figurine that came with my special edition of volume 8 of Heaven Official's Blessing. And then in between, so we have Heaven Official's Blessing, but then we have these gorgeous end illustration arts. I don't even remember what they're called now. End papers, whatever. But they're sprayed edges, so they're beautiful, and they will create a full scene once I collect the rest of them. Then beneath those, we have my fantasy retellings. We have a bunch of different novels down here. We've got Kaikei, we've got She Who Became the Sun. Spinning Silver has Uprooted behind it, and I usually just switch those out based on the season. We've got some Robin Hood retellings, some ancient Greek retellings. I have many copies of The Song of Achilles. I don't know why Circe is in between them there. I probably did that for size purposes, but now it's kind of bothering me. So maybe I'll move the other Song of Achilles so they're all together. Andrew got me the folio edition of Song of Achilles for Christmas this year, and that is also a gorgeous one. It's got this beautiful case that is illustrated. It's really pretty. And this one, I don't remember if this is Illumicrate or Fairy Loot, but these are really beautiful as well. Then we've got the Iliad, the Odyssey, and then Mythos and Heroes by Stephen Fry in there. Down here, we have got, oh, Pippin's upset because Juliet stopped petting him. We've got a random collection of fantasy novels down here. Ship of Magic is down here because I was really hoping that they would do the full Realm of the Elderlings and those illustrated editions, so they're kind of scattered around a little bit. I'll figure out what to do with those after. I have this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous version of Howl's Moving Castle, which also has really beautiful illustrations here. So we'll just pull this in. And then we've got some J. Kristoff books in there. Then we've got some comic books down here. A lot of Marvel comics, then some standalones, Scott Pilgrim, just like a random collection. Some superheroes, some not, some standalone, some not. I did get the first 2 volumes of Lore Olympus, but then I couldn't keep up with that, so I stopped there, and maybe I will continue to read that someday. All right, Juliet wants to show you the Lord of the Rings shelf because it's her favorite shelf, so. Well, no, so why do you want to show it?
Because it has the most stuff on it.
Oh, okay, okay. So here's the Lord of the Rings shelf. I'll just do a quick little swipe around. So we've got lots of different versions of the Lord of the Rings. What did you want to say, baby?
There's like this little thing with the books on there.
Your hand's in the way. It's a little candle.
And then a Lego.
Then we have the Lego. So Isaac and Andrew are big Lego builders. Juliet and I like Lego. We don't build as much Lego. This one had more Lego Technic pieces than I was comfortable with because those always are more confusing to me. But it was really fun to build. Gigi, do you want to just close it and show them? It is a book nook technically, so you can close it and the wings fold in and you could put it between the books. But I really like the way that he looks with his, no, it faces outward when it's a book nook. But I like the way the Balrog looks when he's got his wings all spread out. So then we have this special edition with the pretty edges. You can show the edges, Gigi. There we go. I think it's gonna be hard to flick.
Does it say something?
It does. It's a language you'll have to learn. And then I've got these beautiful editions of The Lord of the Rings that I bought for myself as a gift when I passed my licensing exam and finished residency. So those are up there as well.
And this.
And yes, the 2 little figurines.
Wait,
I don't
his
remember.
eyes are wrong.
I don't remember which set they came with. Do you remember?
It was like, I'm pretty sure it was like one of those sets, like the Stranger Things, where the little people are there and then you just put it wherever.
I don't think they were just the brick heads by themselves. Yeah. I thought they came with something.
Maybe it was like for one of Dad's bigger Legos.
I think they came with Rivendell. I think they came as the 2 little brick heads came.
Rivendell?
The big Lord of the Rings Lego that we haven't built yet. So that one's going to be coming soon. All right.
Stay tuned.
Then we go down here. So we've got the First Law books. We've got some John Gwynne books. And that's it, actually. First Law and John Gwynne. And then I've got a little like Viking Lego house that's here.
Does it open?
I think this was a gift with purchase for something as well. There we go. And if we go down a shelf, this is Stephen King. So this is my shelf that is organized by author. So I do have all my Stephen King books on this shelf. And I believe they're in alphabetical order. But I won't say for sure because then someone's going to look and see that they're not and I'll be sad.
My favorite shelf.
Stephen King?
Yeah.
There we go. Juliet's going to be a horror reader when she gets older.
And mystery.
Down here we have mostly R.A. Salvatore, all R.A. Salvatore. These are Andrew's books. Lots of his books are now in his room, so you'll notice that I don't have the Star Wars books down here anymore. The Warcraft books aren't here anymore, and that's because they're upstairs. Because even though we do have a lot of space, as I said before, I don't have enough shelves in here for everything. So once we get shelves built in, we'll move everything down here. But for now, Andrew has some books in his room and I can pop the other libraries onto the end of this video, perhaps.
Like
and then,
yeah. In the hallway.
Exactly.
With the beams.
And then we have the very last shelf at the bottom here is comic books again. So these ones are all superhero comics, I think. mostly superhero comics. We do have the Dark Tower comics that are in here as well. We've got the Civil War comics that I got when I was at Comic-Con in 2012, and just a collection of other comics. The only one that I'm reading in an ongoing manner right now is Saga, which is down there. So I'm waiting for the next volume of that to come out. And that's the end of the adult fantasy / horror shelves. And now we'll flip around and see the fiction, science fiction, young adult portion of the library. All right, so now we have the other corner. Juliet is modeling the pillow from over here. So we just have one standalone chair over here. And then we have my dad's Lord of the Rings poster.
You can see.
I can see it, yeah. I have my dad's Lord of the Rings poster that came from a flea market in the, I'm gonna say 1980s probably, because I think, not 50s, the 1980s, because I think he went there with my mom, which is when the decade that they met. So, and then we just have this, like I said, this one standalone chair. So this corner is not finished. I don't know if I'm gonna put more Lord of the Rings posters or pictures over here, if I'm gonna put some family pictures. I also would like to get a chessboard to put over here by this chair. Isaac really likes to play chess, and we don't have our set anywhere right now, and we don't play as often when it's not set up. So that is the eventual plan for this part of the library. And then we'll go over to the next lot of books. Well, all right, so we're moving over here. These are some of my favorite young adult novels. So we've got Laini Taylor's Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, Kristen Kashore's Graceling series, the Raven Cycle, and then some of Rainbow Rowell's books. And then of course, The Girl Who Drank the Moon, which is one of my favorite books of the last 10 years, that I read in the last 10 years. We got a little bit of Sarah J. Maas down here. Oh, right, we've got these little cute plant guys that I got for Christmas this year. And then we have this cute owl crate. It's like a little TBR
You like
jar?
write the names of your books that you want to put and then put it in there, and then you pick one.
Yes, exactly.
Not
It's a little TBR jar. Down here, like I said, we have Sarah J. Maas. We've got the Six of Crows. We have a little bit of Diana Wynne Jones. And I Darken is a gender-bent Vlad the Impaler trilogy, which is really good. It's actually really dark. Gigi, you'd probably like it. Then we've got Rachel Hartman's books. So we've got Seraphina and the Tess of the Road books, which I also really enjoy. If we go down here, we have some Holly Black, Aragon. We've got, oh gosh, I don't remember what those are called. The Seven Realms, there we go, it's written on them. The Seven Realms series, some of the Alana books. We've got the Chronicles of Narnia, which the kids also really liked. Impossible Creatures, which is a really popular new middle grade fantasy. We've got Susan Fletcher's Dragon books, which I really liked when I was younger. And then we'll go down again. Here we go. So down here we've got all of my Twilights. This is a joke. So many Twilights. This is a joke that I used to make when my channel was first getting started, and I talked about a lot of different literary fiction, and I talked about prose and lots of stylistic things to do with fantasy. And then I said, you know, take my advice with a grain of salt, because I do own 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Twilight.
The first, and then the other 3.
There we go. We've got the Septimus Heap books, which are Andrew's favorite middle grade series. And then if we go down, we have a collection of young adult fantasy that I don't love, but I also don't want to get rid of, because it's hard for me to get rid of books. So we have some on the bottom that are not my favorites. All right, so now we are at the science fiction selection. You'll remember I did have a special edition of Red Rising over on one of the other shelves, and so I just have my original Red Rising trilogy over here. Got the Dune novels over here. We have a couple of souvenirs, one that my dad picked up for me from Labrador when I was young. It's a soapstone carving. And then we have a little puffin over here from when we went to visit Bonavista, which is a Cape town in Newfoundland. We went there with the kids to see the puffins, and they had a great time. We then have some science fiction / speculative fiction on this shelf. Got a couple books by Kurt Vonnegut, and I really, really enjoy his work. We've got some Margaret Atwood. She's one of my favorite authors. Trying to get Juliet to read these books now, The Wrinkle in Time, or the Time Quartet or Quintet by Madeleine L'Engle. I thought I was going to get her on board because they were reading it in Stranger Things, so I thought that would convince her to read it, but she's not good at taking recommendations from me. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the first 2 at school.
Okay. Then down here we've got Fairy Tale, which is Andrew's, and Blue Flag, which is mine. And then if we go down a little bit, we have my collection of contemporary young adult novels. So Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, then a bunch of Rainbow Rowell. Then we've got just a couple of standalones. Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli is one of my favorite YA novels. We've got a couple by Stephanie Perkins. Aristotle and Dante, I really love the first book, didn't love the second as much. The John Green collection, and then just a collection again of random standalones. And then on the bottom here, we've got books that are, again, ones that I enjoyed but didn't love, minus The Book Thief. I really love The Book Thief. I guess I just couldn't fit that in anywhere else. And then a collection of other books that I liked but didn't love. And then we'll go to the last shelf. All right, so now we just have literary / contemporary fiction up here, and these ones actually are alphabetical. So we have a bunch of Margaret Atwood up here. We've got some Frederick Bachman. We've got this little figurine. I think these are called Willow something. Willow Tree.
Yeah, Aunt Becky gets them.
Yes, Aunt Becky gets them. I don't collect them, but my mom liked the book one, so she gave me that one, which is nice. Got a little Disney gift with purchase. I don't remember which set that came with, but Andrew built it over Christmas. Maybe the book one. And we've got some more contemporary fiction in here. Got some Lauren Groff. I love her. And then some more literary fiction down here. I went through a very big Jodi Picoult phase when I was in my early 20s, I guess. So I have a bunch of her books here. We're just going down. Then we've got some.
My namesake.
I was actually waiting to see if I had any. I don't think these are organized by, no, they're not by historical fiction, but there's a bunch of Canadian fiction here as well. Miriam Taves, I've got a bunch of her books right here, and I love her. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. I love all her books. And then at the very bottom, we have romance books. I don't have a lot of romance books, but I have some down here. So we've got the Chloe Brown series. I've got Allison Cochran. I really like her books. I've got my copy of Ice Planet Barbarians from that fateful buddy read on the channel. Alexis Hall is one of my favorite contemporary romance authors. I have some of their books on here. And then we have the one Emily Henry book I have is Happy Place. That's my favorite book by her. The rest of them I just have on Kindle, but I wanted to buy that one in paper copy. And then a couple of extra Rainbow Rowells. All right, so that's the end of the library tour. This is interesting lighting over here. The lights in this room and this house in general are very old and very orange. So we're in the process of trying to change them to more environmentally friendly lighting, but for now this is what we got. So thank you for coming along on the library tour. We do have a nonfiction shelf upstairs in the hallway, so all of my nonfiction is on that shelf. We do have a kids in our hall closet. We have a collection of kids literature. So that's where all of our like Babysitter's Club, Sweet Valley Kids, like all of those serialized novels for kids are. And then obviously Juliet and Isaac have their own bookshelves in their own rooms. And Andrew has a bookshelf in his computer room that houses all of the books that used to be in my videos, like the Star Wars books and the Warcraft books. So they're up there. One day, as I said, we will have built-in shelving in this room and all of the books can be in the same place. But for now, it's kind of nice to have them scattered around the house too. It's good. It feels good when your rooms are populated by books. So hopefully this was fun and enjoyable. My camera work is not the best. So, but that's it. Hopefully it was still a good time looking around the library. I like looking at people's bookshelves. So hopefully you did too. And I will see you with another video soon. Bye. I brought my assistant over to say bye too. She's going to do a bookshelf tour maybe for her bedroom. Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.